Alright guys, so the Lord Entertainer Fabian fusion just started today, and we're gonna take a look at his kit. We're gonna be taking a look what is necessary for you guys to be able to actually get him fused, and so on. Alright guys, so let's take a look really quick first on the kit and what is requirement for the fusion. Now, I do love those fusions, basically because you have a better chance to actually not have to complete all the requirements in a sense, because if you're lucky, and I feel it is to be more common for people to be able to pull those champions from shards. I feel for some reason it actually lowered the amount of times you actually pull any of them, but hey, still a chance, right? So let's take a look. For you to be able to get the new fusion, you're gonna need to do a basic 4 champions fusing another one, and then 4 champions fuse him. Listen up, click in the link in the description right now and get a free legendary Karato and 4 amazing epics as you level up. And here are the steps you guys need to follow to be able to get this. Step 1, log out of Player in Play on PC. If you never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work in there too. Step number 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step number 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step number 4, go to your inbox and claim your first champion. And here you go. You find Karato here, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. This is an amazing account starting raid, so click on my link on the description below and follow these steps. This is the first one we need to take a look, and it hides Stitcher Born. They figure out some weird names on this. But anyway, that's a skinwalker. He looks pretty decent. It's a new style, I like it. So his A1 attacks one enemy, has 50% chance of placing a 25% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. It's kind of the small one. A2 places 25% increased resistant buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a shield buff in all allies equal to 20% of their max HP for 2 turns. So that's not really bad, to be honest with you guys. In the most like free to play, or if you have a new account, maybe you don't want to commit to the fusion if you don't have the resources. But if you are on a free-to-play or really early game, he looks pretty decent. I mean, it's 3-turn cooldown, right? If you book him, and he doesn't seem to be really book heavy. And you gotta shoot for 2 turns, so you'll be out of shoot for like 1 turn. So in certain situations, like Scarab King, for example, you can actually use him pretty decent. So yeah, not a bad champion so far. A3 heals all allies by 15% of this champion max HP. Also fills the turn meters of all allies by 15%. So you have a shield and you have some turn meter control, what's pretty good. Plus, he heals all allies. And again, it's a 3-turn cooldown. So doesn't look too crazy on books. 10 books total. I've seen some champions that do a lot less and they require a lot more books. So not too bad. And then you get 4 of this and you get to fuse Light Ward Siendra. Now, I feel like her aesthetics, it's pretty much copy and paste of some of the other champions, okay? Nothing special about her style. But on her A1, so Luminant Strike attacks one enemy, has 25% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target. If this attack's critical, has 100% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target instead. Her A2, Blinding Thrust, attacks one enemy twice. Each hit has 75% chance of stealing 15% off the target's turn meter. If the hit's critical, has a 75% chance of stealing 30% off the target turn meter instead. So, like you guys know, I have some problems on the free to play, mostly with turn meter control. This would be really good. It is on a 4-turn cooldown if booked. There's a good amount of books coming out here. It's a total of 9 plus on the next, so 12 books, epic books. What on free to play, not that easy to come by, but be able to control the turn meter even if on a 4th turn. If you make her fast enough, it's not horrible. She is kind of on the slow side. If you guys look, it has 95 points on speed, so nothing crazy in here. But yeah, I don't think she's a bad champion. I just don't know how good she is until I test her. And on the A3, Resplendent Burst attacks all enemies before attacking, place a 50% increased accuracy buff and a 30% increased crit rate buff on this champion for 2 turns. Increase the duration of all buffs on this champion by 1 turn if the attack is critical. So, bad thing is she's not increasing in no allies, and it is on a 3-turn cooldown if booked, so it's not really bad. She looks okay. I do like her A2. I just wish that was more something like on a 3-turn cooldown if booked, but not too horrible. And her aura increase ally crit rate in all battles at least by 15%. I mean, I am not really going for this fusion on the free to play, just in the main account, but to be honest, I'm not going as well, because a lot of times if you're lucky you end up pulling some of those champions, and you could argue it's a possible fusion even if you're not trying hard. Right? Alright, so the man of the hour, Lord Entertainer Fabian. So let's look at his kit. So his A1, Service in Death, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit steals 10% of the target's turn meter. Place a True Fear debuff for 2 turns if the target turn meter is fully depleted. On the A2, attacks one enemy, place the Petrification debuff for 1 turn, has 75% chance of placing True Fear debuff for 2 turns on all other enemies who are not under Fear or True Fear debuff. And his passive activates this skill whenever an enemy under Fear or True Fear debuff successfully uses the skill. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Now, this is actually pretty interesting because you gotta remember, I don't know, I think there's a lot of use for him, a lot of areas of the game. Not as much against bosses, but I feel like Arena probably gonna be his best placement. And it can be really annoying for most people, to be honest, to go against him. So anyway, the A3 Spectral Flourish attacks all enemies before attacking, has 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. Ooh, that's bad. Has a 75% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemies' skills by 3 turns. Grants an extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team after this attack. So that's kind of insane too. I feel he's gonna be like Armand's was last year around the same time. When it comes down to controlling, can be controlling mobs, can be, you know, on the, if you go like to Arena and everything, you're gonna be a pretty annoying champion. And like, and the most if you go like to Live Arena, that you have him and Armand's, you gotta have to pick just one to remove. And yeah, that's wow. All right, yeah, I'm definitely going for him on my main account. There's no way I'm losing this champion. All right, so his passive, Ghost with the most. Whenever an enemy is revived, place a True Fear debuff on that enemy for 2 turns. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, this effect will only activate once. Removes any stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, True Fear, and petrification debuff from this champion before the start of turn. So pretty much like he'll never miss a turn, okay? And on the same time, I mean, he can really help against Armand's if he doesn't have his turn meter replenished. So even if he does, Armand's will not be able to actually cycle it fast enough to deplenish again, so he can lock him up. I like that champion because that's a good answer against Armand's in the arena. And his aura increase ally speed in all battles by 90%. I think if they had put him as a 30 or 33% on arena, it would actually upset a lot of people. Yes, so insane. I love this champion. I like the statics. Yeah, definitely going for him. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys gonna go for him as well. So let's take a look really quick in the road map right now. Starting today, we have Dungeon Divers, we have Dragon Tournament, and we have Champion Training Event. By the way, Plarian, thank you very much for actually starting Dungeon Divers with an actual dungeon, because I hate this thing they usually put on the following day, and what happened with that is you just don't run the dungeon until the second day because Dungeon Diver's not starting and you don't want to waste resource. So pretty good call. Yeah, definitely good thing. All right, so after that we have also Champion Training, but then Wednesday, March 12th, we have Gear Enhancement Event. Awesome. you're gonna be getting some silver from Dungeon Divers, but it's really good. Then we jump on the 13th to Ice Golem. Now that's where things start getting silly, because then you have to wait kind of a day until the next Dungeon Divers come in. And Summon Rush. Summon Rush is good because you'll be opening a lot of shards in here, in the most ancient shards. And what usually helps on Summon Rush... Oh, no, that's bad. So I wish that was Champion Chase, because being Champion Chase, it gives me the option and the chance to actually pull some of the required champions, because my ancient shards are gonna be saving all the way to Champion Chase instead. So Summon Rush, yeah, well, I will probably also be opening some of my Void Shards, what could actually give me a chance to get one of the main fusion champions. So that would allow me to skip some of those. Not too bad. And then we have, as you guys see here, Summon Rush right in the bottom. So Light Ward Syndra. And see, like you have on top Summon Rush, and then you have all the way in the bottom again, actually showing that you have a chance to get Light Ward Syndra. So, I mean, let's see if that actually happens. But if it does, you can skip a lot of those other things. Usually, I would skip Dungeon Divers. Dungeon Divers, for some reason lately, I feel you have to use way too many resources. That's probably what I would skip if I actually pull her. Anyway, let's keep going. So then we go into Classic Arena Takedown. On Sunday, we go in Champion Training Tournament. That's fine. 17th, Gear Enhancement again. And Spider. And it's on the... Oh, come on. So Spider Tournament will not have a Dungeon Divers attached to it. What are you doing, player? You did really good in the beginning, and somehow you're throwing Spider Tournament by itself, and then after that you get Fire Knight Tournament starting on the 20th. So you're gonna have kind of a break. But anyway, Fire Tournament, and then Dungeon Divers event starts the following day. The last one, Champion Chase Tournament, Classic Arena Takedown 2, and Gear Enhancement event. Well, I feel it's pretty feasible to actually achieve this fusion. If I had saved some of my... I do have resources to even try to go on the free to play. Maybe a little crazy, but maybe that's what I should do. But yeah, don't think it's that bad. I actually think this champion is pretty legit. And even if I get a couple of the other ones that are needed for the fusion, you know, not a bad thing either. So yeah, definitely gonna try for it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. You think he's a good champion? Do you think the champions needed to fuse him are good or not? I do think Hide Stitcher Born. I mean, you always have to see how light he is. Like, his HP is not the highest thing. His speed is better, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll try him on the free to play anyway, because I should be able to get him, so not a big deal. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know if you're going for the fusion. What are you guys doing? Alright? Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the game.